What's up? The lighting is supposed to be red, not pink, so I'm gonna read a couple scary stories to help you fall asleep. There is one from No Sleep, from the subreddit No Sleep, and then we're gonna kind of peruse an Ask Reddit post where someone asked what your scariest story is that you have, and it's an old post and it's got like a bunch of replies that we will look through. Also, as I read through these, I will be tapping on a couple books that fit the vibe. First one is Powers of Horror. It's a pretty solid essay about horror, and then a hardback that we will tap on, also equally as scary. J.D. Vance's memoir. My apartment building told us to not use our peepholes after 9 p.m. The email came in that morning, which meant I read it while standing in my kitchen in one sock, waiting for my coffee machine to stop sounding like it was choking. The subject line was an important resident safety notice. That usually meant the elevator was broken again, or that someone had left chicken bones in the laundry room sink, or the landlord had discovered a new way to blame us for the mold. But this one was different. Dear residents, until further notice, please do not use your door, viewer/peephole after 9 p.m. If someone knocks after this time, please call the front desk. Do not visually confirm through the peephole. Thank you. The Marwick Residences. I sent a screenshot to Natalie. She replied, "What kind of Scooby-Doo-ass building do you live in?" Girl, what kind of Scooby-Doo-ass building do you live in? The Marwick is old in the way landlords call historic, when in reality they just want to charge more. My hallway smells like dust, carpet cleaner, and something that might have been canned soup in 1987. The elevator makes a sound like it is remembering a traumatic event every time it reaches the 4th floor, if it ever makes it there. So honestly, the peephole thing barely made the top 5. I live alone at 6C. It's my first apartment after college. 1 pan, 2 mugs, a couch from Facebook Marketplace, mattress on an actual bed frame. My front door faces a long beige hallway with 5 other units and a framed sailboat print that's been crooked since I moved in. Through the peephole, the hallway bends into a little fisheye world. Carpet, elevator, sailboat, the occasional neighbor holding takeout. I use the peephole constantly. Nosy motherfucker. I do too. Everyone does, right? Yes. You hear a knock, you look, or more likely, someone grabs your door handle. That happens all the time to me, where I'll be sitting here just chilling, doing whatever, and I'll hear like that. It scares the shit out of me. It is terrifying. So my doors are always locked. Yeah. Anyway. Everyone does, right? You hear a knock, you look. That's what the peephole is for. At 9:42 that night, someone knocked. 3 taps. Soft. It didn't sound like a delivery knock nor a friendly knock. Not even a maintenance knock. 3 carefully spaced out taps. I was on the couch eating cereal out of a measuring cup because my bowls were dirty. Real. I paused my show and walked to the door with the spoon still in my hand. Then I remembered the email. For a second I actually laughed. The idea of standing inside my own apartment and afraid of a peephole felt really silly. Like being warned not to look into a mirror after midnight. Another knock. 3 taps. I said, "Who is it?" No answer. I leaned closer. "Hello?" Still nothing. was maybe 2 inches from the peephole when my phone buzzed. It was another email with the same subject line. Important resident safety notice. This one said, residents are reminded not to use their door viewers after 9 p.m. If you've already looked tonight, remain inside your unit and do not answer the door. I stared at it. Then, from the other side of my door, someone whispered, don't worry, you haven't looked yet. I backed up so fast I hit police sirens. Or ambulance. I backed up so fast I hit the little table by the door and knocked my keys to the floor. I called the front desk, voicemail. I called Natalie, no answer. The knocking started again when the phone rang. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. Pause. I called 911. I don't know what happened. I might have hit the wrong thing. Maybe the building's intercom app glitched. My hands were definitely shaking too much, but the call connected to the front desk. The woman answered. Good evening. Thank you for calling the Morwick Residences. Her voice sounded normal and bored. There's someone outside my door, I said. What unit? 6C. I paused, and she said, have you used your people tonight? No. Are you sure? Yep. The knocking stopped. The woman exhaled. Then don't start now, she said. What's going on? Do you live alone? I always hated that question. Why do you live alone? I didn't answer. There was paper shuffling on her end, like she was looking through a folder. Then she said, please move away from your door. Who's out there? Maintenance has been notified. That's funny as fuck. It's like the only people that can help you is maintenance. And if you live in an apartment, you know those motherfuckers rarely show up on time. They'll say, I'll be there at 2. They'll be there 2 days from then. Maintenance has been notified. At night, it's almost 10. Please move away from your door. What's the maintenance code? Silence. Every work order in our building had a code. They used it for everything. Leaky sink, broken outlet. That one time a raccoon got into the trash room. Maintenance always gave the code before entering. The woman said, excuse me. The work order code, I said. If maintenance is coming, what's the code? Another pause. And then she hung up. That was when Natalie called me back. Before I could say anything, she said, are you home right now? Yeah? Can you lock your bedroom door? My stomach dropped. What? Why? Is your bedroom door locked? No, why? I need you to listen and try not to freak out. I got pictures from your number. Scary. Excuse me. Okay. I looked at my phone. Our text thread was open. The last thing I had sent her was the screenshot of the email this morning. What pictures? They look really old, she said. Like from earlier today or yesterday. I don't know. They show you in your room. I turned toward my bedroom. The door was open. The room was dark, except for a street light bleeding through the blinds. From my room. My voice rose at the last word. I know, she said. My phone buzzed. A picture came through. It was me standing beside my bed in an old t-shirt, folding laundry. The angle was high. I knew it immediately. It was from the vent. The picture was taken from a little square vent above my closet door. The one that rattled whenever the heat came on. The one I had complained about twice to management. In the picture, I was looking down at a skirt and I had no idea I was being watched. The knock came again. 3 taps. I almost threw my phone. Natalie said, Marie, don't open the door. I'm definitely not gonna open the door. Don't look through the people either. No, she said. I mean, don't. I think that's how they know. I looked at the door. The people was just a small, dark dot. Natalie said the pictures are old, but the textures sending me are live. What do you mean? Another image came through. My bedroom again. Me asleep, one arm under the pillow, blanket kicked halfway off because my apartment is always too hot. Taken from the vent. Below the photo was a message I hadn't typed. She's home. I stopped breathing. Outside my door, a man said maintenance. His voice was calm, tired, slightly irritated. Ma'am, he said, we need to come in. I said nothing. He knocked again. 3 taps. Ma'am, I need you to look through the people and confirm it's me. Natalie whispered, please don't open it. I pressed the phone to my ear so hard it hurt. The man outside sighed. Marie, he said, you live alone. You need to let someone help you. I went cold. Marie isn't on my lease. It isn't on my mailbox. It is the name I use for deliveries or bills or maintenance requests. It isn't even close to my real name. It's a nickname from college. 3 people call me that, and all 3 of them know better than to say it. No better than to say it through a locked door at night. Marie, he repeated. Open the door. I backed away from the door. That was when I understood the warning. It wasn't because the people was specifically dangerous. It was because if you looked through it, whoever was outside could see the light change, or the shadow of your eye, or whatever tiny movement told them someone was standing on the other side. They weren't warning us not to open the door. They were warning us not to prove we were home. The man outside said, we can hear you. I covered my mouth with my hand. Another man spoke from farther down the hall. Is she looking? The first man said not yet. My phone buzzed again. Another picture. This one was not of my bedroom, it was my hallway. My door. The man outside it. He had a toolbox in one hand. That's terrifying. Behind him stood 2 other men. One wore a dark hoodie, one had a clipboard. The clipboard bothered me the most. I don't know why. Maybe because it was the whole thing. Maybe because it made the whole thing look official. I whispered, Natalie, could you call the police? I did. When? 2 minutes ago. Motherfucker, you can be waiting about 2 hours. How far? I don't know. There was another knock. 3 taps. Then the man said, don't make this difficult. The doorknob turned slowly, once to the left, once to the right, then it stopped. I locked it with the deadbolt too. I never loved myself more than I did in that moment. The man outside said, good girl. Alright, like he was pleased. Then something metal slid into the lock. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a chair, wedging it under the knob even before I knew even though I knew that mostly it worked in movies. Wedging it under the knob even though I knew that mostly only worked in movies. Then I dragged the little table over, then my laundry basket, then the broken floor lamp I kept meaning to throw away. The man outside said, Marie. I didn't answer. I know you're scared. I stayed quiet. That's okay, he said. Women get scared. My skin went cold. Then he said, you should have just looked when we knocked. The lock clicked, not all the way, just enough. Natalie was crying now. Marie, get out the window. I'm on the 6th floor. Fire escape. Other side of the building. Bedroom window. No. I looked toward my bedroom. The vent above the closet was dark. I never noticed how much it looked like a mouth. My phone buzzed again. Another picture. This one showed my bedroom from the vent. Empty bed. Open door. very bottom of the frame, just visible in the hallway mirror, the reflection of a man standing inside my apartment. God. I'm alone in my apartment right now. I'm not quite tweaking, but I'm not tweaking either. Okay. Where was I? Right in the middle here. I turned around. No one, nothing. Only the hallway, only the bedroom door, only the vent. The man outside laughed softly. Then he sat through the door. Check the closet. I'm not checking the closet. I'm sitting with my back against the kitchen cabinets, typing this with one hand while holding a knife in the other. My hand is shaking so badly that I keep hitting the wrong letters. Just let it be fiction. That's good enough. You don't have to, like, I don't know, do the I'm typing this right now cliche. Anyway, the police are coming, I think. Natalie is still on the phone, I think. The men in the hallway have stopped knocking. A few minutes ago, something small slid under my door. A photograph. Not digital this time, but printed. I haven't touched it, but I can see it from here. I thought it was gonna be like one of those little, like, Polaroids. Like, one of them has, like, a cute little pink Polaroid camera or something. Sorry. But it's a printed photo. Okay, right here. It's a picture of me sitting exactly where I'm sitting now, back against the cabinets. Phone in one hand, knife in the other. The angle is from above, from the kitchen vent. I picked it up. On the back, written in black marker, 6 words. You locked him in with you. Solid. I like that. I love a good, well, love, but I enjoy a good little home invasion story. It's cool. Tapping on one of the worst fucking books ever written by yours truly, J.D. Vance. There's like cat hair and dust on it from where it's been on the floor. Alright. So, from the Ask Reddit subreddit, Der Galaxy asked 13 years ago, Reddit, what is your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real stories? It's from 2013. Let's see what people said. Oh, boot advertisement. Great. I don't know who that's for. I wear Birkenstocks and Crocs. That's it. My mother told me this not too long ago, but it happened about 10 years ago now. Post was made in 2013-ish. So, 2003-ish. The good old days. When my cousin was 17 or 18 years old, she was in a car crash and had died a couple of weeks later in the hospital. Right. She was really close to my dad's sister, our aunt, and used to babysit her kids, who were no more older than 4 years old at the time. Wait, oh, sorry. She used to babysit her kids, who were no older than 4 years old all the time. Our aunt's house was under construction just before she passed away, and it continued on after she passed away. One day, my aunt got a phone call while she was at work from one of the construction workers complaining about a teenage girl who keeps showing up at the house and walking around, and that she shows up a number of times during the weeks. And it has been happening for a couple of weeks. My aunt asks for a description of the girl to see if she knows her from around the neighborhood. And sure enough, the description perfectly matches my cousin who died a few weeks before. Long brown hair, baseball cap, denim dungarees, and a white jacket. My aunt got home, she showed them a picture of my cousin, and they all agreed that it was the girl they had seen walking around the site. The story really freaked me out when I heard it, because her family was never one to believe in anything paranormal, or if anything of the paranormal sort happened to them before. Cool. not supernatural creepy, but it is one of the more disturbing and surreal experiences of my life. One early morning a few short years ago, I'm walking to my bus stop and eating a banana. It's dark, misty, around 5 a.m., and I'm internally debating something trivial, like if I want my daily Starbucks before or after the commute. God, this is so relatable. When I was in like middle school and high school, I have memories of walking to the bus stop and just, because I used to be very nauseous when I would wake up when I was a teenager, probably from anxiety. And I would just like try to get down like a banana, or I would like take an apple with me or something, and I would be just completely focused on eating that piece of fruit, just to get something in, because I didn't eat the school food at lunch or for lunch either. So sorry, that just reminded me of something that I used to do. And the same thing, like it was always dark out and very misty from a place where it's very humid. So I know this vibe, I know this atmosphere. This is smacking for me. As I approach the dimly lit corner of my street, a tall man in a black mask steps out of the dark alleyway to my left, sleepy and disoriented. I barely acknowledge him, real, when he shouts, "Put down your fucking purse," and points his gun to my head. Things start to click. Alright. This is an urban setting, and it is a grown woman, I guess. The man says, "Put down your bags," and I tell him, okay, I'm putting them down over here. He orders me to walk over to him toward the alley and get down on the effing ground, and I continue. Sorry, and I agree. I'm coming, okay. My heart is beating a million miles a minute, and my hands still smell sticky with banana. I know I need to get away. I don't know why, but my mouth won't stop working. Look, see, I'm on the ground. My stuff is over there. Please just take my stuff. But he doesn't like it. Shut the F up, okay? He gets on top of me and puts the gun to my head. Very scary stuff. At this point, I should mention the fact that I'm on my way to coach a high school practice, and I'm dressed like a dude, huge baggy pants, hat, jacket. If not for my telltale voice, I'd look like a prepubescent 90s rap star. Anyway, as the guy gets on top of me, gun to my head, he looks at me and pauses. I can't tell you why I know this, but I swear at this moment it clicks for him that I'm a woman. He gets off of me, stands up, and points to the dark alley. Come with me. Ooh, don't like that at all. Okay. My stomach hurts. I remember that there had been a recent rash of sexual assaults in my neighborhood, during the daytime no less. When the man points down that dirty alleyway, my internal voice speaks the F up. It says, "Voice 1, there's no way in hell you're going to go down there without a fight. But he has a gun." Replies voice 2. Oh yeah, but he has a gun. Replies voice 2. "Follow me," the real voice. His voice hollers. So I do what I do best. I talk. "I'm coming. I'm following you." I call. And the man makes a crucial mistake. He believes me. I take 1, 2 tiny steps backwards toward the sidewalk, and he turns his body and his gun toward the alley. This is my moment. I take a deep breath, tuck my head down in case he starts shooting, and start sprinting away. I hear a voice screaming in a high-pitched wail before I realize that it's mine. After running 6 or 7 blocks, I head back to my apartment, hoping he's not there, to see where I lived. The police check out the alleyway an hour later, but the potential attacker is long gone. The only evidence of the encounter is my banana peel browning in the alleyway, and the adrenaline rush that I couldn't shake for days. I would be lying if I said that if that experience doesn't bother me still, but I'm so fortunate to mainly be haunted by the what-ifs and not the what-dids. That's a good little bit of wisdom to leave off on. Fortunate to be haunted by the what-ifs and not the what-dids. Oh, okay. This one has 43 upvotes. Oh, maybe that's a bad. Yeah, well, let's read it anyway. This isn't my story, but a former teacher told it to me and swears it's true. She said that when she was a child, she shared a room with her younger sister. One night, she was in her bed, and her sister told her to look toward the door. She looked up and saw the silhouette of a man standing in the doorway. She had a light switch right notice their eyes playing tricks on them. The next day, my teacher went downstairs and saw her father sitting at the kitchen table just staring. She asked him what was wrong, and he said, "Was the man you saw a tall man?" Weird. Your dad is weird and cryptic, and probably withholding information. Par for the course, honestly. She claims that each member of the family saw the silhouette a number of times over the years, and each time it was the same thing. They would turn on a light and there would be nobody there. I've been creeped out ever since she told me this story. It's interesting. We can do one more. One more. Maybe a shorty. A little shorty. You can also pause if you want to read any of these. Okay, this is 1.4K, and it's not very long. Alright. Let's check it out. A few summers ago, I went for a bike ride around midnight with a friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening, and I had about 2 blocks to ride back by myself. Because of construction, I had to ride on the sidewalk, but the streets were dead. But it wasn't a problem until right where I was about to turn left onto my street. There was this man walking by himself, maybe 40s, a little scruffy, but not homeless. The sidewalk was narrow, and I didn't mean to freak him out, but when I got about 6 feet behind him, I said, "Hey, behind you." And he turned around and gave me this super angry look. I turned down my street, and he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was in some choice words, and he was gonna kill me and all that. I'm not sure that saying the cuss words really matter because of the content of like what we just read. Whatever, I don't know. I don't care about the YouTube algorithm. I really don't care. Anyway, so he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was a fucking cunt and he was gonna kill me and all that. I live right off the corner, and I didn't want him to figure that out, so I decided to do another loop around the block. That's not the scary part. This also kind of reminds me of something that happened to me. Sorry, not to self-insert myself here. There was a time where I went on a run in my old neighborhood. This is in Kentucky. It's anyway. But I went on a run. It was late at night. Very misty, very humid. It's right after I had sprained my ankle also, so my ankle was like honestly just barely well enough for me to run again, but it still hurt like really bad. Probably shouldn't have been running if I'm being honest. Anyway, so I'm looping around the suburbs that I grew up in, my neighborhood, and this SUV keeps like coming up and like kind of stopping like near-ish me, not right next to me, but like right before, or it'll pull up past me and then stop afterwards, or like in front of me. At which point I would always like cross the street and just go the other way because I'm no way I'm passing that car. So that happened like twice. So I don't know if they were looking for a house that maybe they were trying to park at, or maybe drop someone off or something like that. But it happened in like 2 or 3 times in different like sections of my neighborhood, like where like it was like half a mile apart. Where there's, I mean, you gotta be fucking directionless to, you know, drop someone off at their house over here, and then no, it's actually half a mile this way, right by that guy who is hobbling around running in Crocs for some reason. So I don't know if they were trying to fuck with me or what. Oh, actually, there was a moment where one of them opened a door. And I don't remember what side it was on, but I remember them opening a door, and what I had ended up doing after like the second time that they stopped and were being weird. I don't remember exactly when they opened the door, but alarm bells bells start going off in my head like very quickly because I'm anxious and scared, paranoid. And I ran towards this part of my old neighborhood where there's like a creek where you can like basically like cut through someone's yard and then go down this creek, and then it pops you out like on the other end of the neighborhood. So I went and did that, and I remember going like cutting through the yard, going down through the creek, and seeing the headlights, and there were like very bright, distinct headlights from that car that was following me previously. I remember seeing those like kind of like cutting through the trees, like because they were going down that road kind of near the creek, and I don't think they saw me or anything, but yeah, so I went the long way around to go back to my house, and I took a picture of my shirt. I don't know if I still have it. I'll look, and I'll maybe put a picture, like insert it here if I do have it. But like literally, my whole shirt was drenched in sweat, straight like stress sweat, like I'm gonna die sweat. Yeah, but it was probably just people just fucking with me, or I don't know, like nothing crazy happened. But oh my god, the feeling of being hunted down and pursued, especially like because my foot was all messed up. Oh my god, I stopped running at night for like years after that. But I'm an idiot, so I still run at night. It's a vibe. I look up more now. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so the sidewalk was narrow and I didn't want to freak him out. Okay, we already did that. We talked about this guy is now chasing him. He's looping around the block. That's not the scary part. The scary part is that when I looped around and looked down the street, I saw him standing on my fucking front stoop, staring out at the street like the motherfucker knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again, but he didn't say anything. I ended up going back to the friend's house, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. And the guy in question was definitely not actually homeless. We have a large population of mentally ill in that area, unfortunately, downtown of a medium-sized city. So, if I didn't think the sidewalk was too narrow to pass otherwise, I wouldn't have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom and she made the decision not to notify law enforcement until my bike was stolen. Yeah, that's crazy. I would also just like ride back to the friend's house. Or, I don't know, not even the fucking friend's house. At that point, I'm knocking on I'm rolling the dice with a random. I'm going to someone's door. Alright, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed. Maybe I'll do more spooky stuff like this. I might actually read some legit, not legit, these are legit, but like, some like more classic short stories or something. I don't know, we'll see. But I like this vibe, this was pretty fun. So I will keep it cozy and do something spooky in the future. Couple things. Number one, I know my hair is wet. Look, like a year ago I had like the best curl day that I've ever had, and I just air dried my hair and kind of like didn't care about it, and like it looked the best I've ever looked. I'm chasing that dragon currently, alright? I'm fresh out the shower, I'm letting my hair air dry. Maybe I can achieve what I achieved last year. It does not look like it's gonna. I don't think the air drying of my hair is resulting in the curls that I wanted. They're not as crisp as I would like. Damn. Still chasing that dragon. I think it was in August. Yeah, that was like right after I don't want to dox myself, but that was right after I moved. There's a picture of me, and oh my god, my hair looked so good. And it's crazy too because I didn't even take the picture. I didn't take it. It was my fiance, and she normally gets me looking like a fucking goblin in my off guards. And she's like, "Oh, but you look good." I'm like, "Bro, you are married to Smeagol. You're marrying Smeagol.